Good Thursday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it over the hump, and we're in the home stretch toward the weekend. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Thursday. We have the truth of the day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you've been part of my conversation with author Susan Tyler Hitchcock discussing her brand new book, Into the Forest, The Secret Language of Trees. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with their Thursday headlines. In international news, Mariupol's deaths put at 5,000 as Ukraine braces in the east. The mayor of the besieged port city of Mariupol put the number of civilians killed there at more than 5,000 on Wednesday as Ukraine collected evidence of Russian atrocities on the ruined outskirts of Kyiv and braced for what could become a climactic battle for control of the country's industrial east. Ukrainian authorities continued gathering up the dead in shattered towns outside the capital. Amid telltale signs, Moscow's troops killed civilians indiscriminately before retreating over the past several days. In other developments, the U.S. and its Western allies moved to impose new sanctions against the Kremlin over what they branded war crimes. And Russia completed the pullout of all of its estimated 24,000 or more troops from Kyiv and other areas in the north, sending them into Belarus or Russia to resupply and reorganize, a U.S. defense official told the Associated Press, speaking on condition of anonymity. The Ukrainian President Zelensky warned that Moscow is now marshaling reinforcements and trying to push deeper into the country's east, where the Kremlin has said its goal is to liberate the Donbas, Ukraine's most Russian-speaking industrial heartland. The fate of our land and of our people is being decided. We know what we are fighting for, and we will do everything to win, Zelensky said 6 weeks into the war. Ukrainian authorities urge people living in the Donbas to evacuate now ahead of an impending Russian offensive while there is still time. Later, people will come under fire, the deputy prime minister said, and we won't be able to do anything to help them. A Western official, speaking on condition of anonymity to discuss intelligence estimates, said it will take Russia's battle-damaged forces as much as a month to regroup for a major push on eastern Ukraine. Mariupol's mayor said that of the more than 5,000 civilians killed during weeks of Russian bombardment and street fighting, 210 of them were children. He said Russian forces bombed hospitals, including one where 50 people burned to death. Mariupol's mayor also said that more than 90% of the city's infrastructure had been destroyed. The attacks on the strategic southern city had cut off food, water, fuel, and medicine, and pulverized homes and businesses. In national news, Fed signals more aggressive steps to fight inflation. The Fed Reserve officials are signaling that they will take an aggressive approach to fighting high inflation in the coming months, actions that will make borrowing sharply more expensive for consumers and businesses and heighten risk to the economy. In minutes from their March policy meeting released on Wednesday, Fed officials said that half-point interest rate hikes, rather than traditional quarter-point increases, could be appropriate multiple times this year. At last month's meeting, many of the Fed's policy makers favored a half-point increase, the minutes said, but held off then because of the uncertainties created by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Instead, the Fed raised its key short-term interest rate by a quarter point and signaled that it planned to continue raising rates well into next year. In more national news, at least 5 gunmen involved in Sacramento shooting. The mass killing that left 6 people dead and 12 wounded outside bars just a block from California's capital last weekend was a gunfight involving at least 5 shooters from rival gangs, Sacramento police said on Wednesday. Police said they identified at least 5 gunmen, but there may have been more. Only 2 suspects, both brothers wounded by gunfire, have been arrested in connection with the shooting and so far only face firearm charges. We're still working through who the actual shooters are in the case, said a sergeant who was working the case. Until Wednesday's announcement, police have been silent on the motive for the shooting that erupted early Sunday as bars were letting out. Rapid-fire bursts of over 100 gunshots echoed through the streets as terrified patrons ran for their lives and others were hit by bullets. In sports, Tiger Woods overshadows Masters with so many scenarios. 5 players can go to number 1 in the world by winning the Masters. Another can complete the career Grand Slam with a green jacket. Such is the depth of talent these days in golf on the eve of the first major of the year. And such is the power of 5 words at 10:34 a.m. today that are sure to overshadow everything else on the opening day of the 86 Masters. 4 please, Tiger Woods driving. Those words from the first tee at Augusta National haven't been uttered since November 15, 2020, the last time Woods played and walked in a tournament. And finally, in business news, stocks fall, yields rise as Fed details inflation efforts. Stocks closed lower and bond yields rose on Wall Street Wednesday after details from last month's meeting of Fed Reserve policymakers showed the central bank intends to be aggressive in its efforts to fight inflation. The S&P 500 ended down 44 points to 4,481. The Dow slid 145 points to 34,497, and the tech-heavy Nasdaq lost 315 points to 13,889. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, it's all yours.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. No person is a failure who is enjoying life. Are you doing what you love to do? Are you making our world just a little bit better than when you came? Have you found your purpose, your passion? Enjoying life every single day is the most important thing you can give yourself permission to do. You can enjoy what you are doing, or you can complain about it. Complaining, like worrying, never changes anything. If you are complaining about something, change it. Life is very short. Enjoy each and every moment of each and every day, rain or shine. Today, choose to enjoy life as you think positive thoughts, taking actions and doing the work to make them your reality. And always enjoy the day.
Susan Tyler Hitchcock is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight, discussing her book Into the Forest, right here on Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Susan Tyler Hitchcock joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about her new book, Into the Forest, The Secret Language of Trees. Here's a bit of our conversation. We're used to anything with National Geographic, Susan. We're used to having beautiful photos, and we definitely get that in Into the Forest. But from you, we get, I think, a great commentary on the value and of course, I think all that trees do for us and what we can do for them. What has that conversation been like for you, Susan, to be able to have with the audience through a book like Into the Forest?
You know, I learned that in 1999 there was a pair of botanists who proposed that we all suffer from what they call plant blindness. That is, you know, we give our children stuffed animals. We take them to zoos. We encourage children to interact with the animal world, but not so much the plant world. And as I worked on this book, I realized we have tree blindness too. Even I've grown up living on the edge of forests all my life, but I realized how little I've looked at the trees and thought about them. So I'd like to believe that my book, Into the Forest, could help everyone become a bit more aware of the trees in their lives, whether it is a forest or a park or even just a tree down the street. All of those matter, and all of those deserve our attention. The science is really amazing to discover the health value of being in the forest, or even just looking out the window at trees. I love some of the words that the scientists have used to talk about the value of being in the forest. Attention, restoration. A few days or even a few minutes in the forest helps us restore our attention. Another word I love is soft fascination, that as you walk through the park, you experience a soft fascination, and it really calms and cheers you in a way that nothing else can.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning into this edition of Conversation Daily News. We'll be back to you guys on tomorrow to wrap up this week. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversation Daily News today. Let's make today amazing. Take care.